Okay, now let's study the sieve cells and albuminous cells present in gymnosperms. In the phloem of gymnosperms. Actually, in the phloem of angiosperms, sieve tubes are present. But in the phloem of gymnosperms, sieve cells are present instead of sieve tubes. And in the phloem of angiosperms, companion cells are present which assist the sieve tubes. But in case of the phloem of gymnosperms, albuminous cells are present which assist sieve cells. Okay, so here sieve cells in gymnosperms are involved in the transport of food, where in angiosperms sieve tubes are involved in the transport of food. Okay, let's study the details of these sieve cells present in gymnosperms. So these sieve cells are thin-walled, elongated cells, with tapering ends. Elongated cells with tapering ends. Right? Okay, now let's see the structure of this sieve cell, one sieve cell. So these sieve cells are single celled. Actually, sieve tubes are many celled where sieve members are united, joined together to form a single tube like structure called sieve tube. But here sieve cells are single celled. So this is a sieve cell. This is a sieve cell. Okay, which is thin-walled, elongated with tapering ends, and these sieve cells are involved in the transport of food materials in case of gymnosperms. Okay, so for the transport of food materials, what is required? Pores, sieve pores need to be present in sieve cells. But here, end walls or cross walls are absent. Why end walls or cross walls are absent? Because these sieve cells are single celled. In case of angiosperms, sieve tubes consist of end walls or cross walls where sieve pores are present, and that end wall or cross wall which is with sieve pores is called as sieve plate. But here sieve plates are absent, and sieve pores are present towards lateral walls, towards lateral sides. So like this, sieve pores are present towards the lateral sides of the sieve cell, lateral walls of the sieve cell, and the areas where the sieve pores are present are called as sieve areas. Sieve areas through which the pores present in the sieve areas are involved in transport of food material from one sieve cell to the another sieve cell. In case of angiosperms, sieve members of a sieve tube are arranged one above the other to form a sieve tube. But here in case of gymnosperms, the sieve cells are aligned one after the other in this manner. There in longitudinal manner, vertical manner. Here these are aligned in horizontal manner, sieve cells. So when the sieve cells are aligned one after the other horizontally, like this radially, the transport of food is taking place from one sieve cell to the other sieve cell through the sieve pores present in the sieve areas. So through the sieve pores, so these are sieve pores present in the areas called sieve areas, present in the sieve areas, right? Okay, so in case of angiosperms, companion cells are involved in controlling the activities, that is controlling the transport of food material that occurs through sieve tube. But here albuminous cells, instead of companion cells, albuminous cells are involved in controlling the activities of this sieve cell, because here also sieve cells lack nucleus, and hence the nucleus of albuminous cells are involved. Albuminous cell is involved in controlling the activities that occur inside the sieve cell. What is that activity that occur inside the sieve cell? Transport of food, right? Okay, so this is albuminous cell, this is sieve cell, this one is sieve cell, and in this sieve cell, sieve pores are present towards the lateral walls, and the areas where these sieve pores are present are called as sieve areas. Now let's compare the sieve cells with the sieve tubes of angiosperms, and let's compare the albuminous cells with the companion cells of angiosperms. Okay. Now angiosperms and gymnosperms. Right. So in case of angiosperms, phloem consists of sieve tubes. Sieve tubes, where each sieve tube is made up of many sieve members. I am writing SM, sieve members. In case of gymnosperms, food is transported through sieve cells, which are single celled. Sieve cells, which are one cell, single cell, made of only one cell. Next. In case of angiosperms, sieve tube consists of sieve pores in the end walls or cross walls. So sieve pores are present in end walls or cross walls. And these end walls or cross walls which consists of sieve pores are called as sieve areas. Sieve plates. And the regions where these sieve pores are present at the end walls or cross walls are called as sieve plates. Whereas in case of gymnosperms, these sieve pores are present in lateral walls, longitudinal walls, radial walls. Lateral walls or longitudinal walls or radial walls, right? And the areas where these sieve pores are present in the lateral walls or longitudinal walls or radial walls are called as sieve areas. Sieve areas, right? Okay. And in case of angiosperms, the cells called companion cells are helping the sieve tubes. Companion cells. Whereas in case of gymnosperms, albuminous cells help the sieve cells for the transport of food materials through them. So, albuminous cells. So here, albuminous cells are helping the sieve cells, assisting the sieve cells. As it is same like companion cells which help the sieve tube in case of angiosperms. But still these albuminous cells are not called as true companion cells. They are not called as true companion cells. Why it is so? Why? Because these sieve tubes and companion cells are derived from the same mother cell. I just repeat. The albuminous cells present in gymnosperms are helping the sieve cells in the same way how the companion cells are helping the sieve tubes in case of angiosperms. But still these albuminous cells are not called as true companion cells. Why it is so? We are going to answer this question now. Why it is so? Because these companion cells and sieve tubes are derived from the same mother cell. So, mother cell of this companion cell and sieve tube are same. Both of them are derived from the same mother cell and hence they are called as sister cells. Companion cells and sieve tubes are sister cells. And hence we can say that they are ontogenetically similar. Genetically they are similar. Ontogenetically similar. Whereas in case of gymnosperms. Right. In case of gymnosperms, these albuminous cells and sieve cells are not derived from the same mother cell. So, they are not derived from the same mother cell and hence these albuminous cells and sieve cells are called as non-sister cells. These are non-sister cells and these are ontogenetically dissimilar. And hence these albuminous cells are not called as true companion cells. So this is about the sieve tubes and companion cells present in angiosperms, in the phloem of angiosperms, and the sieve cells and albuminous cells present in the phloem of gymnosperms. So in the next video, I will be starting with phloem parenchyma, next part of the next elements of the phloem. Till now, we started with the phloem, which is the complex permanent tissue. In that phloem, we studied about sieve tubes, companion cells present in angiosperms, sieve cells and albuminous cells present in gymnosperms. In the next video, I will be starting with the next part of the phloem, next type of elements, that is phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers.